Welcome to this explainer. Today we're diving into No Need to Go Crazy, which is a really refreshing, prudent approach to artificial intelligence by Daniel Burgos.
Let's just take a collective breath and step back from all that AI hype for a minute. We'll be looking through a much calmer lens today, covering the fabricated AI need, echoes of past technology, the real danger of the digital divide, a calm ethical framework, and finally, keeping the human touch.
All right, let's jump right into Section 1, the fabricated AI need.
So we really have to address the elephant in the room here. This frantic, gotta-have-it-now urgency. It's not some technological inevitability. Actually, it's a classic market strategy. As Daniel Burgos points out, the tech industry literally fabricates a need. They get you completely hooked with free services, and then, boom, once you forget how to live without the product, they switch on the price. I mean, we've definitely seen this movie before, right?
And because of this aggressive market push, we are just bombarded with a rapid-fire succession of buzzwords. Think about it. 4 years ago, literally everyone was talking about generative AI. Today? Well, now it's agentic AI. Give it 6 months, and they'll be selling us reasoning AI. Eventually, they're going to start pitching full machine consciousness, something straight out of the Terminator. It makes us feel like adrenaline junkies, constantly refreshing our feeds just waiting for the next update. But here's the reality check. AI has actually existed for 70 years. When you drop a coin into a vending machine, the automation dispensing your soda uses an expert system, which is a branch of AI. The tech itself isn't entirely new. What is new is the massive infrastructure designed to sell it to you everywhere all the time.
Moving on to Section 2, Echoes of Past Technology. To really grasp this, let's look back at how previous tech rollouts actually happened. The first mobile phone launched way back in 1983, but let's be real, they were incredibly rare until around 2003. The World Wide Web launched publicly in 1995, but it didn't become a true household staple for a whole decade. Or take MOOCs, massive open online courses. Born in 2012 with huge promises of completely revolutionizing global education overnight. Today, they're basically just a commercialization tool for universities to offer entry-level courses and charge for the certificates. The point is, true technological integration takes time, decades in fact. So this forced, lightning-fast speed of current AI adoption we're seeing, it is completely unnatural and purely market-driven.
This brings us to a really fantastic Buddhist metaphor that Burgos highlights. Right now, we are foolishly staring at the finger instead of looking at the moon. The finger represents all these flashy tech tools, the AI models dropping every 10 minutes with all their sparks and flashes. But the moon represents the actual, tangible benefit this technology is supposed to deliver to society. We are so utterly distracted by the finger that we have entirely lost sight of the moon.
Which leads us perfectly into Section 3, the real danger, divide.
So here is the crucial takeaway. Forcing this exponential speed doesn't just confuse everyday people, it actively runs them over. The real danger here lies in our reaction to this fabricated demand because it is creating a massive digital divide. And let's be clear, a digital divide is just a polite modern term for harsh social exclusion. If you cannot keep up with this completely artificial pace, you are going to be economically and socially left behind.
We can clearly see a huge, widening gap between the market hype and consumer reality. The market is constantly demanding attention, releasing dozens of complex models and pushing subscriptions for absolutely everything. Yet the reality? Almost nobody outside a tiny tech bubble actually understands the difference between one model and the next. Honestly, it's an old trick in computer science. I understand it, you don't, so let me guide you and, overbill you for it. Consumers are paying a massive premium right now, in money, in privacy, and independency, for things they fundamentally just do not understand. Meanwhile, the true, practical, real-world applications, those remain completely hidden from regular people.
Okay, let's pivot to a solution in Section 4, a calm, ethical framework. The Universidad Internacional de La Rioja, or UNER, offers a fantastic open-source declaration that provides a blueprint for exactly this kind of framework. It leans on 3 simple but deeply profound principles. First up, the principle of social contribution. Simply put, if an AI tool isn't genuinely useful for the community, it just shouldn't be used at all. Second, equity. This means actively fighting against bias. And third, and this is perhaps the most important one, the principle of human supervision. The final decision absolutely must always belong to a human being. Think about it. Delegating our choices to what is essentially just an enhanced calculator, that completely strips away our free will, our accountability, and frankly, the actual fun and responsibility of human choice.
Adopting a calm framework also means we have to stop and ask the hard questions about the physical reality of these digital tools. We have to consider environmental sustainability, like how much massive power and water consumption is required just to keep these giant processing centers running. It's staggering. Furthermore, there's the sustainability of the software itself. What happens if we integrate our entire daily workflow into a cloud model today, and then that company just goes bankrupt or radically alters its service in 2 months? We absolutely cannot afford to become completely dependent on such fragile market offerings.
And that brings us to our final point, Section 5, keeping the human touch.
We really need to notch our expectations way, way down. Look, generative AI is undoubtedly a powerful tool. It's a fascinating toy that we're all playing with right now, and it is brilliant at compiling data and summarizing vast amounts of text. But we have to remember what it is not. True invention, genuine creation, and groundbreaking innovation? Those still belong entirely to human capability. The indispensable human touch absolutely must come first, especially when we're talking about critical sectors like education, health, and social services.
So, as we wrap up this explainer, the ultimate question we must ask ourselves is this: are you controlling the pace of technology in your own life, or are you letting the market control you? If we don't actively demand a slower, structured approach, one that puts the human touch and real societal benefit first, we are just going to remain captive consumers. We'll be adrenaline junkies strung along by a completely manufactured urgency. It is time to stop staring at the flashing finger and start looking at the moon. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer.